All right, here we go. We're live. Now what we're going to do is work on these individual routes. I'm going to show you how to do that to actually get the data displayed onto our lovely browser. Okay. But before we do that, I want to share how we fix the error. If you recall, we had an error message in our previous lesson. We were getting all this mumbo jumbo right here, missing parameter name, etc., etc., etc. And we got it to work. How did I get it to work? So if I come back over here to my router.js, here's the thing. Previously with, and I've been using Express 4, 4 point, whatever it was. And now we're in Express, the latest one that we're using, long-term support. Let me come back over here, package.json is 5.1. Okay. And there, with that update to Express, there was a lot of significant changes to the to path handling. Okay. And so that means specifically here for our error page where we had the star in quotes like so, is basically what that star means. Hey, anything that is not listed above. Okay. So it's kind of like a catch-all, then return this error message. Because, you know, if you type something in for a page and that value doesn't exist, well, then you want some kind of error. Well, we have to be explicit now and put in pure regex, if you will. And so that's what we're doing here. Ooh, I don't like regex. But anyway, so here, this is the syntax for over here. We got the / parentheses dot star close parentheses close /, and that will handle the error page. So now if I come over here again, I'm gonna come back over here and say localhost 3000, and there's my home page. And if I come over here and say /foo, which doesn't exist, I get this page does not exist. All right, so now we're working. We got something going. Cool. Let's move on. So what we want to do now is we want to build out these individual routes. And I'm going to do one of them, okay? And then you can see, I mean, you'll see how it works, and then you can essentially do the rest, okay? So let's get into it. What I need to do is I'm going to create an individual route page, and this is going to be for my actors. I think that's the first. Yeah, I have actor first. So I'm going to build out an actor page or actor routes page. So I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to say, I already have my routes folder. This is going in my routes folder. So I'm going to say cd app /routes / I'm going to call this actor routes.js. App /routes / actor routes.js. Come back to VS Code. And did I add it? Oh, it says no such file directory. Oh, because CD, yeah, because it's not CD. I knew that. I was testing you all. It's part of your pop quiz. So touch app /routes / actor routes.js. There we go. Touch. And there we go. There's our actor routes. There you go. You passed the quiz. All right. Here we go. So this actor routes file starts off similar to our router.js because we're using the same methods, if you will. So I'm going to say const express is going to get require express. And then I'm going to say const router. I can do the same thing. Const router is going to get express dot router, create an instance of that. And now what I need to do is here I can connect to my database. Okay. And to do that, I'm going to say const con is going to get require. This is how we connect to the database when we're using MySQL 2. Require, I say dot dot slash, and see that will take me to config. So I'm going to go into config and say slash db config. And this will take me into my config folder and my db config file. All right. So let's get into this. I'm going to create my path. All right. And this is going to take me to, let's say, path is going to be, say, slash API slash actor. All right. And so I'm going to do, now I got that, I'm going to say router.get, path is going to be slash, okay. And it's going to take a request and response as an argument. That .get method, it works the same. We take a path and then a callback function. All right, so here is where we need to write our query out. So we need our SQL query. So I need to know, I want to know how actor is designed. So I'm going to say describe actor. And I see it has a actor ID, first name, last name, and a last update. So basically, if I want, I can just get everything from this actor page. Okay. So I'm going to say, excuse me, I'm going to say con.query. So I'm going to write a query here. And this con.query method, matter of fact, let me put a little comment right here. So .query takes two arguments. Okay. The first argument is going to be a SQL query. And the second argument is going to be a callback function. So first thing we're going to do is write a SQL query, and then we write a callback function. So let's write our SQL query, and it needs to be as a string. I'm going to say select all from actor, and do not forget your semicolon because we're writing SQL here. So we need to make sure that we add a semicolon. So there is my query. And then the next thing I need to do is write my callback function. This callback function is going to take an error and rows as its argument. And what are we going to do? I'm going to say, hey, if we don't have an error, I'm going to do that right there. Then I'm going to say else because I'm going to need an else. So I'm going to get it set up looking like so. And what I want to do is I want to say, hey, if I don't have an error, then I need to check the length of the rows, how many rows I have. And that's going to determine something pretty important. But I'm going to say, hey, if I don't have an error, if rows.length is equal to 1, then what I want you to do is response.json, and I want you to spread out the rows. Else, response.json rows. So I can't show you right now, but essentially what's happening is we're with this code, this block right here, we are normalizing the way that our data is going to be returned. Okay, because if I have a row, well, if I'm returning the table, actor, and there's only one actor in there, it's going to return it formatted in the way that it would if there were, a million actors. And what I mean by that, it would come back as an array. So I'd have square brackets with the object inside. Well, to make it easy for me, if there's only one item in there, then I want to spread out rows. In other words, I want to remove the square brackets and just return the object. And that's if the length of rows is 1. But if the length of rows is not 1, is greater than 1, then it needs to be formatted like an array. So then response.json and the rows. All right. And so what I want to do here, so if there is an error, so here I'm saying if there is no error, else, which means that there is an error, then I'm going to console.log, and I'll just say right here error, and then I'm going to return the error. And that's that. And now let's do this. Let's export this. I'm going to say module.exports router. And so I'm exporting the router, this file here, okay? And so I need to import it somewhere. I'm going to import it here in router.js. And I'm going to add that right here. I'm going to say router.use. So I'm going to use this path, and it's going to be /actor. Okay. And what it's going to do is going to require, we're going to import the file here. It's going to be /actor routes. So now that that's happening, I should be able to come over here back to my API. If I refresh it up, I get a local, I get this page does not exist. Aha. Ooh. Let's see. If I say API/actor though, you make it hard for me. Why? And I think I know why. I think that I know why. Humna. This should not do that. Because if I'm saying localhost, let me see. Let's see if I come back over here, server.get that's localhost 3000/API, but that doesn't point to the router. Then what would I need to do? Let me try something real quick. Let me do something. I'm going to do a little test. I'm going to remove this right here real quick just to see what that looks like. If I come over here and localhost 3000/API, it's going to take me to the API. Click on actor. Can I get API/actor? That's fine because I haven't built the page for it yet, but I should still get the API. And now I am wondering, what did I do? Because that points to actor routes. I think this needs to be, let's see. I think this needs to be, does this need to be /API/actor? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so when I had to set my my path, I said /API/actor, that is going to point to actor routes. Yes. And now I got there's my actors. Okay, cool. So that's working. And so I'm going to add something here. Yeah, because I said it right here, /API/actor. That's what that path is. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to add an individual route, because here I have listed all of my actors. I'm going to create a route to handle individual actors. So I'm going to say router.get. It's going to be / and then :ID. Again, this takes a request and response. And so here I need to get access to the ID. So I'm going to say const ID is going to get request.params.id. And now I write my query just like I did before. So I'm going to say con.query, say select all from actor where actor_ID is equal to, this doesn't need to be quotes, that needs to be backticks instead. It's going to be ID. Don't forget your semicolon. Put a comma right there. And then once I got that, I'm just going to copy this callback function here. And I can tell you right now, I've been trying to figure out a way to write this function somewhere else and just kind of abstract it and then use it where needed. Have a little issues with that. I just got to think through it. I can do it. But now I got that set up. So this should handle like an individual actor. Okay. So all it's going to require me to do is add an ID number here. So in other words, if I say here's actor and I say /2, and that gives me Nick Wahlberg. How is that happening? That is happening because we are exporting this file, this actor routes. We're exporting it and then importing it here inside of router right here. And we're saying, hey, use /API/actor when you import that file. So that enables us to say, hey, localhost 3000 /API/actor, and it'll open up that actor file. Okay. And so now what we need to do, if I want to render stuff on the page, we'll make it an actor page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a page for actors. So I'm going to say touch views /pages /actor.js, or you can say all actor if you want to. I'm just going to call it actor.js. And I'm also going to create a single. So I'm going to say touch views /pages /actor single.js. And so now I'm ready to do my actor page. So let's do that. We're going to say router.get. The path is going to be /actor. It's going to take a request and response. And what I need to do now is I need to fetch this data. I have to be able to get it in a certain way. And so we're going to install node fetch. So I'm going to come back over here inside my terminal, and I'm going to say npm I node-fetch. And so I've imported, installed node fetch. And I'm going to come over here, up here, I'm going to write this function out, or write out, yeah, it is a function to get node fetch. So, and I'm going to say const fetch gets, and I cannot remember this, is args, and that returns, I believe it's the import node dash fetch dot then I think it's an object default. It's going to be fetch then no. This is where I get stuck. So let me go to my notes real quick and find this, because that is where a young G gets stuck. Okay, see, import node fetch, then, oh, I need two parentheses right here. So extra set parentheses right there, and close it right there. Default, and that's not in quotes, default fetch. And then after there, return fetch args. There we go. Yeah, that's why I like Axios, because I don't have to do all this. But anyways, here we go. We got our fetch here. And so now what I'm going to, and pause this video and, go back and look it up, see how to do it. But now I'm going to now get a URL, create a URL. I'm going to say const URL, because I need to have something to fetch. And my URL is going to be, let me add one other thing here. I'm going to add a port. I'm going to say const port. It's going to get, again, process.env.port or 3000. All right. Come back over here, and now I can say http://localhost : drop in the port /API/actor. So I want to get access to my API. Okay, and that's what I'm doing right here. I'm getting access to my API, and here's the address that I need to get. So I'm getting access to this. That way I have all the data. Okay, so const URL gets the URL that we just created. And I'm going to say fetch the URL. And this is a promise. This is a JavaScript promise. So I can say then take the response, turn it to JSON, then take the data, and then what are we going to do with the data? Well, we're going to response.render. We're going to render pages/actor. And our object will say title, all actors. Name, also say all actors. And then data, which is going to be the data, like so. And if you're familiar with JavaScript and you understand how objects are, you know that if the property and the value are of the same name, then I don't have to write it like this, saying data : data. I can just say data. and that will work. So what I'm going to do is, before I build this page out, I'm going to do a simple little test just to make sure that I'm getting the data. And I can do that like so. I'm just going to say console.log data. Okay. And now when I come back over here and I say localhost 3000/actor, nothing's going to show up right here. I'll get that. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for here is inside my terminal, and there I'm getting all of my actors. So that works. And you see 100 more items because it's not going to list all of them. Okay, so that works. Cool. It rendered it correctly. Now we got to build our page out. So here in actor, what am I going to do? I'm just going to say, just like we did before, I'm going to include, not that right there, but include partials/header. Why is it resolve include again? Oh, that's because it should be EJS instead of JS. So let me change that up. I had to look at that again. EJS. Change that extension. Same thing here, actor single. Rename to EJS. This is why you got to watch this whole video. So let me change this. That should be include. And this is include partials/footer. All right. And I'm going to use some EJS right here. So main, and then give it an ID of actor, main. And I'm going to make a container, make a row. Come over here and just refresh just to get rid of that gaudy message right there. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I need to get all the data. Okay. So I can say, hey, data.forEach. And I can say for each actor if I want to, or I could just say each item. I'm just going to leave this one at actor. Normally, I just like to use item because I like to just cut and paste. But here I'm going to say for each actor so we can see what's happening. And EJS likes us to format our code in such a way. This is where it kind of gets confusing. But for each actor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a div class column. I'll say MD dash 3. Yeah, I'll do that. MD dash 3. And I will I'll just put their names here. I'll just list that. I'll do an H2. Give it a class. I'll just say actor dash name. Maybe I want to style it later. And inside here, I'm going to inject some EJS. So this is going to be data.first. How do we? It's first underscore name. So first underscore name. And then data.last underscore name. Or maybe I want to do, instead of this, maybe I want to have like a figure with their image. Maybe I want to do something like that. Maybe have a picture of each actor, which these actors aren't real. This is just dummy data. But again, the thing is, you can set it up however you want to. So I can say, was it actor.first underscore name? Actor.last underscore name. So there we go. And come back over here and refresh. Oh, my actors. Let me fix this up. For some reason, placeholder images aren't popping up correctly. I don't know. But you see, that's how it works. We're getting the first name and the last name of all the actors as well. And so this is a good place to stop. Excuse me. I've talked a lot in this video. But again, and a couple things needed to clean up or whatever. But essentially, once you get to this point, it really is wash, rinse, and repeat. You create your routes page, your routes file rather, okay, and you can write. I can write whatever query I want that goes to the actor table. It doesn't have to be these basic ones. Maybe I want to sort them out. Maybe I want to get all actors from a first name begins with a particular letter. I could do so much more with this. This is just a step, just a small piece. Okay. And once I do that, I import it into my router like we did right here. And then the rest is gravy. You're good to go. So, and we'll look at this error page again. I had to, with the update to Express, got to figure out how to handle these error paths. Anyways, like, share, comment, all that other good stuff, right? Because the executive producer said that they want to take me out to Longhorn after they graduate from the academy. It shows appreciation for all my hard work and dedication to this craft that I do. So we'll see you all later. We're going to work on the individual. We're going to do the single page next. And then again, like I said, once you get that, you'll understand how to do the rest of these as wash, rinse, repeat.